Good Saturday morning, everybody. It's about 9:45 on Saturday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. We have temperatures in the 60s, probably high 50s. It's going to get 60 or something today. It looks like, if the weather report is to be believed, we're going to get, ooh, that's nice. We're going to get temperatures in the mid to high 70s on Monday. Wow. And I checked the weather report for the rest of the month. We have warm. Couple days in the 40s. Couple days it'll dip below 32 degrees, 29, 28, that kind of temperatures. Somebody's finding a nice rifle out there. But it looks like we're going to have warm weather in the foreseeable future, all the way up until about mid-February at least. After that, the weather forecast, the crystal ball runs out of juice. So that's what we're looking at. This part of the field, so we're kind of in the middle of the field in terms of east to west, and we are near the end of the field in terms of north to south. So that tree line there, that's the property line basically. You can see the fence posts. And again, the grass is pretty thick. It's not very tall. There are some spots, occasional spots, where we don't have much vegetation. But when you look at it closer, you see that there's dead material down there. Just old grass that needs to be digested by the ground. Which gives me a great deal of hope, you know. That phrase, if you build it, they will come. Well, if you feed the ground, the microbes and the worms and everything else will come. And hopefully there's a lot going on underneath my feet in terms of regenerating the natural ability of the earth to produce life. So hopefully that's going well. Anyway, yeah, we got our cows doing cow things. Let's take a look. This is 413. This is a calf that I bought originally about a year and a half ago. She was a couple months old at the time. I think she's either Red's calf or Yellow's calf. I'm not really sure which one. But I've kept her this whole time. She hasn't grown any horns yet. I don't know if she ever will. She's a half Angus, half Longhorn. Right, so that's my oldest calf. If you can't tell, the Longhorns, they don't get quite as big as the Angus. And they don't grow very fast. That's one of the reasons why producers don't like the Longhorn breed. If I was serious about, ooh, she's not too happy in terms of her condition. If I were more serious about, getting the maximum amount of money out of every acre, I probably wouldn't run Longhorns, The nice thing about Longhorns, though, is they're very resilient, and they do well with limited grazing opportunities, so to speak. I've caught the Longhorns eating the goat weed and things like that. For those of you who aren't from this area and you hear the gunshots in the background, this is a fairly common occurrence here in Texas. We take the right to bear arms quite seriously, and it is a fun sport and hobby that pretty much everyone has. Hearing people shoot guns is not a big deal. And in fact, I was visiting some neighbors, and there was a guy shooting a handgun, probably a .45 caliber pistol or something like that, in the distance. And where I came from was a city, a suburb, really. And we had a police range in the distance, and now that calf got caught up in the wire. Get out. There you go. She was getting zapped. Stay away from the wire. Anyway, in the distance, hearing gunshots like that wasn't too weird, but there wasn't the hill in between the gun range, the hill that was in between the gun range and myself and my house, muffling the sound. So I was a little bit concerned, just because I'm not used to hearing those sounds in the background. But my neighbors, they don't even notice the sound. And when I kind of brought it up, I said, well, they're not aiming at us, right? That's kind of the key, is that we expect each other to respect the gun rules, and don't point at things they don't want to kill. And we don't fire over the horizon. Most people have set up on their property firing range of sorts. Many people have even put like steel plates buried in a hill. And but everybody practices gun safety most of the time. I haven't heard of anybody since I came here having a gun accident. The worst thing that ever happened was someone was carrying a rifle and accidentally pulled the trigger, but the rifle was pointing in a safe direction, so it doesn't matter. He had the safety off, but so he just fired it into the air in the middle of nowhere. Nobody was living for miles around. So anyway, that's like the worst that's ever happened to me, or around me rather. Anyway, yeah, so it's a normal thing to hear people shooting rifles. Not a big deal at all. We do play games sometimes trying to guess the caliber. So I don't know what caliber that was. I'm not good enough yet. Anyway, yep. We had a little bit of rain this morning. We had quite a bit of fog. It's cleared up. It's going to get warm. Monday it's going to get super warm. Almost go to the beach warm. Blackie wasn't doing too well. Red, you can see her ribs. Is somebody caught up in the wire again? Anyway, it's nice to hear these guys just munching away. I saw this little bugger feeding on his mommy this morning. Look at them go. That's what cows are meant to do. Just graze on the forage, and they get to stay out here all day with their warm coat, their thick hide. What more could you ask? I mean, what better conditions can you give to a cow than this? I mean, yeah, they could use a little more food. I'm working on it. They could use a little more food, but otherwise they're perfectly content. See, Brownie's filled in. That's not Brownie, is that? I think that is. The sunlight sometimes changes their color. See, yellow has a little bit of a hollow, but I can barely see yellow's ribs. So they're doing pretty well. Oh, I came out this morning. There were some ravens in the field. I like ravens. I want ravens to protect my chickens. This is Dusty. Dusty has the eyeliner around her eyes. Dusty is a little skinny, not too bad though. The hollow's a little hollow. I'll feed him again tonight, and I'll feed him every night. If the weather continues like this, the grass is going to take off. And in fact, I'm going to go on that part of the pasture that hasn't really started growing yet. I'm going to put down some wheat seed just to kind of get something growing there, because I don't want it to stay empty for too long. I'll have to check to see if anything is growing there. There might be something growing there. I'll have to go check. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Have a happy new year. I hope everything's going well for you. Take care, and bye-bye.